Accident of Choice by Literally Mad Lad on AO3. Episode 3, Chapter 2, Releasing the Kraken into his lovely underground enclosure. The beam light flicked off. Katsuki blinked dots from his eyes. The panel he had picked at the concrete wall came loose then. It lifted some churning against stone, before the panel stilted above a gap in the concrete wall. A door. Something plucked into the water. Though, the gap, Katsuki caught sight of a sea bass splurging into the motion after the initial shock of being tossed in. It skithered away from the small little window the concrete gate had given him. He didn't move, even as a second bass was tossed in. This one took a little longer to hesitate, but once it flicked to life, it took off after the other fish, out of sight. Something heavy smashed into the wood planks up above, shaking the structure, and a second later, a 12-pound bounty dropped in. Katsuki hadn't sunk his fangs into one of those in years. If his mouth was capable of watering, it would have. He did his fingers into his arms, sharpened teeth aching. The banto swam alongside towards the bottom, clearly stung. It would be such an easy kill. Katsuki sprung out from his hiding spot. His speed caught him off guard, his death precision gone. The next thing he knew, he hit the concrete wall full force. "Oh shit!" the assistant shouted overheard. Words garbled through the water. Katsuki's vision tripled, head rattling. He clasped a hand over his nose, a blossom of blood pooling in the water. The chaos startled the banto into motion, and within seconds, it was out of range. Katsuki could taste his own blood in seconds, mingling with the water from a wound the banto likely sustained during capture. He could see Deku's dumb face through the water, scrunched low and leaning over the edge of the wooden planks. Deku's hands were turning the edge. "Are you okay?" he asked. The assistant tugged at Deku's shoulder. "You shouldn't get that close." Katsuki gritted his teeth, fangs bared and nose throbbing. He lurched up out of the water with a snarl, the threatening clicks of his jaw coming out without warning. It was a defense mechanism he hadn't used in months, and something that always unnerved his handlers. Deku, on the other hand, merely leaned back. They were face to face, Katsuki's hands gripping the wooden planks just mere inches from Deku's fingers. The assistant let out a petrified squeak, lurching back and out of range of Katsuki's bared fangs. Water dripped onto the planks between them. The tension in Katsuki's face slackened, ever so slightly, when Deku's only reaction came in the form of a breathtaking smile. Katsuki could see now that the bastard's fucking freckles weren't a coincidence of smudged glass. Deku reached out. Katsuki grimaced, half turning his face away as Deku swiped a finger along Bakugou's upper lip. It came back dark red. Katsuki grabbed his wrist, jaw audibly ticking, like two wooden docks being taped together. He watched the muscle in Deku's throat tense, the only indication that he was in danger. Then he registered Katsuki as an actual threat. Katsuki parted his jaw, the ticking elevated to a quick succession of clicks. "Midoriya," the assistant warned, voice pitch high with concern. Deku pulled a hand out to her, reassuringly. His eyes, however, remained solely focused on Katsuki. They were focused on Katsuki's mouth, and Katsuki was giving the distinct impression that Deku was staring at his tongue, and the way the muscles of his cheeks stretched to accommodate his unhinged jaw. Deku tipped his head curiously to the side. The ticks hesitated as Katsuki's confusion sunk in. The amazement was back in Deku's eyes, which was curious, since just a second before, Katsuki was so sure the bastard was shitting himself right about then. Deku's wrist turned in Katsuki's grasp, and before Katsuki could snarl again, Deku's index finger glazed his canine. Katsuki was too confused to snap. "You never belonged in that tank," Deku said, his voice quiet. He lowered his hand, and it wasn't until he did so that Katsuki realized his grip had vanished from Deku's wrist. "This is just a temporary home. We're gonna release you once the coast is clear. So for now, we'll take care of you. Anything you want, just tell me, and I'll give it to you. Katsuki pushed away from the ledge, spiraling back into the water. He simmered fearlessly over his failed attempt at scaring the nerd. Of course it wouldn't be that easy. The bastard had the nerve to bust Katsuki out of that damn testing tube. It pissed Katsuki off. To top it off, he was once again trapped, albeit temporarily, if he could trust Deku. Katsuki passed underneath the wooden and concrete dam to where he'd seen the fish escape. He didn't make it much further than the dam. It was an entire cave, just for him. There was a wooden deck built off a concrete platform where Deku and the assistant had come from. A door at the top of the pair rickety wooden stairs. Sunrise was upon them, and a skylight opened up a patch of cool morning light that reached the floor of the saltwater pool. The water was a brilliant greenish blue. As daylight engrossed, Katsuki was tired enough to sleep, but too wired to do so. He wasn't familiar with the area, and he was still being watched like an animal from the deck where Deku and the assistant took to standing. There, the assistant was comfortable to keep a wide breath away from the ledge, and Deku took to sitting on the very edge with his feet in the water. Katsuki wanted to keep them in sight, though. He lingered on the opposite side of the open water, his back to the stone. He watched as the assistant started to check her watch more frequently. Her annoyance ramped up to an all-time high when the clock struck close to 8, and she said, "We should be getting back to the facility now, Midoriya." "Do you think he'll be okay on his own?" Deku asked, looking back to her with sad eyes. "He'll be fine. He's probably waiting for us to go so he could sleep through the daylight," she said, and Katsuki thought, at least someone here gets it. Deku frowned, but got to his feet regardless. There was a bright red box on the stairs, and Deku plopped the lid of it open and pulled out what appeared to be a tin can. He peeled back the metal top before snapping it off. "They aren't fresh, but I figured it's been a while since you've had tuna. In any form, it'll probably taste good," Deku said. He upended the tin of the bin off the deck, tapping the contents out into the wood. Katsuki waited to approach it until after the assistant all but dragged Deku up the stairs and out of the door. When the door short closed behind them, a lock clicked into place. Katsuki was left with a sound that resonated after it, and the distant crickle of the waterfall chuckling dying down. Okay, alright. What the fuck, Deku? Izuku, what the fuck was that? Izuku, darling, what the fuck was that? I'm sorry. You have this person, merfolk. You got this merfolk looking at you straight in the eyeballs with his fangs out, blared, growling at your ass, and you decide to hippity-holler and touch them fangs? What is wrong with you? What in darnation? Sorry, I don't know what the fuck happened. I have no idea what the fuck was that. To be honest with you, I'm tired. Okay. Oh my god. I don't think that laugh was picked up. I think it was a little too high pitched, but like, oh my god, I can't. But touched his fangs. Why did you touch his canines? Why would you touch? Why would you touch his canines? Like, why would you just willingly touch his canines? Like, just why? Your finger, your whole hand could have been chopped. I'm breathing in and breathing out. I am heavy sighing right now. Heavy. Because what the absolute motherfucking hell? What the fuck was that? But this is interesting. The next chapter is chapter 3 called WWE Wrestling Match with a Merman. Okay. And, this one's a longer one, so this one looks like it's gonna be 3 chapters? 3 chapters, 3 episodes. 3 episodes. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Anyways, as always, my rain jumps. Oh, I should read ahead. Okay, let's see. Within a second, Katsuki was grappling for purchase on Deku's vest. Overhead, the assistant was yelling like a goddamn banshee, and he could hear Deku's fast breaths when the oxygen mask was thrusted off, the goggles drifting away with it. Deku's wide eyes were only in the water long enough to see Katsuki's ears flatten back, teeth bared in a snarl, before Katsuki tossed him out of the water and onto the deck. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Anyways, as always, our raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.